Welcome back, Matthew chapter 8. So, just daily reminder. Again, I'm going to say this every time. Probably going to get repetitive by the end of this. But keep a Bible on you. Follow along with it. Link in the description should have the notes, a little PDF or whatever, to access and follow along with us. And then 3, if we miss anything, leave in the comments below. So I'll start us off. Matthew chapter 8, verse 1. When he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. So people are following after the Sermon on the Mount. Last chapter was the end of the Sermon on the Mount. The people were amazed. Now the people continue to follow him. Verse 2, and behold, there came a leper and worshiped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. So the leper, that's someone who has leprosy. It's like a skin disease. It's very common back then.
You can Google it if you want to, but I wouldn't.
It's pretty disgusting. But just think of a skin disease. And in those times, under Levitical law, if it made someone unclean. So Leviticus 13 covers this a little bit in deeper detail, but they were supposed to isolate themselves until they were clean, or a priest clarified they were clean. So they're isolated, and he's supposed to be isolated, and he's coming up to Jesus, and he's worshiping him. So he's noticing that he is the Messiah. He is Emmanuel, God with us. Verse 3, and Jesus put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean, and immediately his leprosy was cleansed. So Jesus sees his faith and heals the man just like that. Again, we have an act of someone recognizing and believing Jesus can do this and going up to him, which we're going to get this theme a lot in this chapter. So faith is a key detail there. Verse 4, and Jesus said unto him, see thou tell no man, but go thy way, shew thyself to the priests, and offer the gift of Moses, the gift that Moses commanded for testimony unto them. So tell no man. Jesus did not simply come to perform miracles, but to show he's the Messiah. So again, this was an act of mercy, and he's telling him to not necessarily go around yelling this that he's doing this. Why? We don't have an exact reason, but it's a good thought process behind it. Is it's not yet time for all the attention to be on Jesus just performing miracles. Again, he is the Messiah. He's not just a miracle worker. He is so much more beyond that. And if he's put out there like that, where it's getting a lot more of the scribes and priests' attention, they're speeding up the rate of wanting to kill him. So again, we're going to get to this in the later chapters of Matthew, but it's not yet time. We're going according to God's time. We need to slow down sometimes and follow what he has in store for us. So another thing about it is Leviticus 14, where it's talking about the gift, is where it talks about going to the priest to be marked clean and then giving a sacrifice to God. And then it says Moses commanded, this is the Mosaic law, the first 5 books of the Bible. Now it's Torah, Levitical laws, Leviticus, so any of those law references, it's a reference to the first 5 books of the Bible. So continuing on, verse 5.
Verse 5, and when Jesus entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him. So Jesus is back in Capernaum, where he gathered the apostles together. A centurion is like a Roman military officer. The reason why they're called a centurion is because they were over 100 soldiers or more sometimes. But anyway, he's coming up to talk to Jesus. Verse 6, and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. Palsy is paralysis. Think of like Bell's palsy, something like that. And anyway, the soldier here is asking Jesus to heal the man. And verse 7, and Jesus saith unto him, I will come and heal him. So basically, Jesus there agreeing to go to even go to his house and heal him for him. Verse 8, the centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. So obviously the centurion knows who Jesus is, because he's saying that, Lord, I am not worthy that you would come into my own home, which I think a lot of good Christian people would have the same reaction. Again, we don't really know why he said this, but we can have an idea. A big thing might be because he was a Roman soldier. He didn't want people to see him with a Jew. That could have been it. Probably like what we said before, is that he was just humbled by his presence. there's a pattern in the Gospels of miracles being performed when the person has faith, or the person with faith is asking Jesus,
Or actively seeking him to.
or actively seeking him, like the woman who reached out and touched his garment. In verse 9, for I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. So the officer here is recognizing Jesus' power, and that he knows if he speaks the word that Jesus can heal his servant for him. Verse 10, when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great a faith, no, not in Israel. This is obviously Jesus acknowledging the centurion's faith, and he's glad about it. Because he hasn't come across this sort of thing before, because obviously the centurion has a lot of faith in a man that he has never met before.
Yeah. Not even his own people are showing him that faith.
And not even the apostles. Verse 11, and I say unto you that many shall come from the east and west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. So Jesus here explaining that not only the Jews are going into the kingdom of heaven, but pretty much from everywhere under the sun, pretty much. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Children of the kingdom is the sons and daughters of Israel. Jesus is meaning here just because you're of, like, someone's your dad, you're of that lineage. That's not what is going to get you to heaven. Prestige is not any importance to God. He says he's no respecter of persons. So that's not going to get you into heaven. Those that do not believe will be cast into isolation. In other words, hell, which is separation from God. So just because you know your dad, who's this great man, that's not what gets you into heaven. Verse 13, and Jesus said unto the centurion, go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And his servant was healed in the selfsame hour. So when Jesus said, be it done, the servant was healed. Jesus didn't even have to walk over there or touch the man. He just spoke it, and it happened. Self-same hour just means it happened right when he said it. That same time. And this kind of serves. If you think about it, when God created creation, he spoke it and it happened. So this is another picture of the deity of Jesus.
His words have power. All right, the next section is going to be over Peter's mother-in-law. So verse 14, and when Jesus was coming to Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of a fever. So big thing to notice in this verse is Peter has a wife in order to have a mother-in-law. So Peter's the only disciple that we see to have a wife. There's others we do not know. I've heard some people say that priests can't have wives.
But these aren't priests, these are apostles.
But same thing, apostles, disciples, any follower of Jesus can't do that, which beyond me.
But it's argued that Paul might have had a wife, but he was it's believed that she died before
following
he came to Jesus. So
point being there is that one of the apostles did have a wife. Verse 15, and he touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she arose and ministered to them. So this is one of the more interesting miracles of healing from Jesus, because it's implied here that Jesus was the one who initiated the thought of healing her. So this could be possibly because of her own faith, because as soon as she was healed, she started ministering unto him, so she started taking care of him, worshiping him. Or it could be the faith of Peter, showing that faith and prayers from you can affect others. So think of your family member that maybe is a non-believer or an atheist or whatever, your actions, your faith could still have an impact on their life. So continue to pray, continue to talk to God about them.
And it doesn't say that she asked. I mean, he just saw that she was sick and reached out and healed her.
Yep. So she was,
which is kind of cool.
Yep. She was healed and started praising him and serving him. So instantly. Verse 16. When the even was come, they brought unto him many that were possessed with devils, and he cast out the spirits with his word, and healed all that were sick. So again, power of his word. But Jesus continues to perform miracles here, which we're going to see why that was in reference right after that. And it's verse 17, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying himself, took our infirmities and bare our sickness. So this is a fulfillment of Isaiah 53:4. Jesus took the people's burden upon himself and suffered in their place. Pull that up real quick. Isaiah 53:4, it says, surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did not esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. So Jesus is fulfilling this verse by putting on the burden on himself. He's fulfilling healing, and he's putting the grief on himself. So going to the next section.
We go down to verse 18. Now when Jesus saw great multitudes about him, he gave commandment to depart unto the other side. The other side is in reference to the Sea of Galilee, which was what they were standing beside. Verse 19, and a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. So this is a young scribe, and he's kind of offering to follow Jesus here. We'll see in these next verses he don't really know what he's getting himself into.
Yeah.
And Jesus saith unto him in verse 20, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. Basically, Jesus telling this man that Jesus doesn't have a place to rest. Jesus is homeless pretty much, and that the animals have dens and nests and things, places to sleep at night, but him and his followers don't. I mean, they sleep wherever they can. They had friends that had houses that would let them sleep in, but Jesus himself didn't own a house, so
That wasn't every thing either when they did get to sleep in those houses.
yeah. Well, and he's just letting this young man know that this is not going to be easy.
No.
What you're getting into. So in verse 21, and another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. So this is another disciple from the multitude that came up to him wanting to follow him, but he had something he wanted to do first. He wanted to go bury his father first, which most people would think would be reasonable, but you'll see Jesus answers him in verse 22. But Jesus said to him, follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. His response may seem rude, but it's not. He's showing you have to have your priorities straight, right? So we should have following Jesus as first,
Yep.
and then everything else should be after that. The dead burying the dead. The dead are it's talking about spiritually dead who prioritize that of the world over Jesus, and it's basically saying you don't and like with salvation, you don't need to put that off to go do something else.
Yeah,
right.
You get that.
Nothing
right
is
now.
too important to put off salvation.
Absolutely.
It says today is the hour is now, right? So him wanting to go, well, I'll follow you, Lord.
Yeah.
I'll trust in you, but
Just
after
let
I
me
do
in.
this one thing and bury my dad. He goes, well, you can trust in me now, and then you can bury him afterwards.
Yeah. There's also some that theorize that the context of this, just because some people were like, well, that was harsh, Jesus, when in reality it's not. But there's also another good possibility that the father may have still been alive and just old, and the disciple was like, hey,
He's waiting on him to die.
let me wait for him to die, then I'll fully commit to you. But until then I can't, because I have to take care of my old father. And again, you're putting off, it's just priorities. Let Jesus come first in your life, the rest will follow after that.
Yep.
Continue on though. Next section is the calming of the sea. So verse 23. And when he was entered the ship, his disciples followed him. Again, they're by the Sea of Galilee, so they're beginning to cross the Sea of Galilee. Verse 24. And behold, there arose a great tempest in the sea, and so much that the ship was covered with waves, but he was asleep. So a huge storm is coming, but Jesus is asleep.
And I'm
imagine
kind of
the
like Jesus in that aspect. When it's storming outside, I sleep really good. The rougher the storm, the easier I sleep.
Well, think about what he's been doing in the past. Who
Well,
knows
he's
what time
probably
frame.
exhausted
He's probably
dealing with
very
these
exhausted.
multitudes.
Absolutely. I mean, just from the Sermon on the Mount, man, we hit the ground running. He's performing these miracles. He's going to Peter's house, performing those
I
miracles.
mean, that's another thing
He's
to
running around.
remember with Jesus is that he's in the flesh. So, I mean, he's constrained like we are. He still has the, we get tired, so is he in the flesh.
Yeah. This is the disciples' reaction to the storm. And his disciples came to him and awoke him, saying, "Lord, save us, we perish." So the disciples are scared, and they wake Jesus up. They're like, "Jesus, hey, save us. We're in a horrible storm right now." Verse 26, and he saith unto them, "Why are you fearful, O ye of little faith?" Then he arose and rebuked the winds of the sea, and there was a great calm. So the trials of waves and the storm, of what the disciples are going through, showed how they lacked faith and trusting in Jesus taking care of them. So think of all the storms and trials that you go through, and we get down on our knees and we're begging God to save us, even though if we're following what God is telling us to do, like getting in the ship with Him, we're going to be taken care of. We just have to have that trust and fully commit to Him throughout all that. And this is actually another fulfillment of Psalms 107, verse 28 and 29.
There's like another thing, I mean, if Jesus is, obviously you're following him, I mean, he's going to take care of you along the way. He's not going to leave you high and dry in a ship somewhere.
Psalms 107, verse 28 and 29. Verse 28, then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he bringeth them out of their distress. Verse 29, he maketh the storm a calm, so that the waves therefore are still. So that sounds exactly like what happened here. So it's a fulfillment of that, where they're in this storm, they're in this distress, and he answers their call. So showing again that God is Jesus. Jesus is God. Verse 27, but the men marveled, saying, "What manner of man is this, that even the winds and sea obey him?" Again, probably in reference to that Psalms, showing that only God has control over that. And then Jesus just did this. So they're like, how is that possible? Again, still not recognizing how divine Jesus is. I mean, he is God. And I think they're finally starting to see that with the power of that. They are astonished by his power to control nature. Jesus shows his authority here, that he is much more than just a man. He's not just some average Joe or average preacher. He is God. Continuing on to the next section.
In verse 28, it says, "And when he was come to the other side of the Sea of Galilee, into the country of," that word, I can't pronounce that, "there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way." So basically, they cross the Sea of Galilee. They're in this different country, which is like a different county or something like that of Israel. And they come across these two men that are possessed with devils, and they jump out of a tomb, and they're pretty scary. No one around there wants anything to do with them. Verse 29, "And behold, they cried out, they cried out, the two men, saying, What have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?" So these are the demons speaking to him, and even the demons, they recognized who Jesus was when they saw him as the Son of God, and they pleaded with him. They asked him not to torment them before the time, which is in reference to Judgment Day. It talks about in Revelation at the end. So I mean, something else to think about. Even the devils tremble.
They recognize.
Verse 30, "And there was a good way off from them, and herd of many swine feeding." Swine's just pigs. So there's just a
lot of pigs.
a herd of pigs over there. 31, "So the devils besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine." Besought just means they asked. They knew what was going to happen.
Yep.
So they asked, wait, don't just cast us out of these men. Let us go into these pigs over here, and so we can mess with them.
Yep.
And so, Jesus, verse 32, "And he said unto him that he is Jesus, Go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine, and behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea and perished in the waters." All Jesus said was go. They asked him, they asked him,
Can
to
we?
let him go to the
Yeah.
pigs, and he said, "We'll just go." And they did. They obeyed the voice of Jesus. The demons did. I mean, so this is another. All these miracles are showing who Jesus is. I mean, this is another thing. He has authority over demons.
Yeah. We have signs of the physical, the nature, the weather.
Yeah.
Now we have spiritual. I mean, he's just showing he has the authority over all.
Yeah. And in verse 33, and they that kept the field, kept the fled.
They that
They that
fled.
kept. I read that wrong. I'm sorry. Verse 33, and they that kept them fled, and went their ways into the city, and told everything and what was befallen to the possessed of the devils. So these pig farmers
Yep.
were kind of, like,
Where all our pigs go?
what?
Yeah.
And they went and told everybody in the city what had happened to the man possessed by the devils.
Yep.
Verse 34, and behold, the whole city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they besought him that he would depart out of their coast. So they learned what Jesus did. Obviously, you would go see this guy that just did this.
Yeah.
The two possessed men are talking to him. He says go. They jump. The demons jump into the pigs, and the pigs all run off a cliff and kill themselves. And it says they asked him to leave. Obviously, they didn't want any part of what they thought. They didn't want any part of any of that. They just please leave and just don't come back, please.
Well, it just shows what they hold value
They
to.
had and they had no thought of the spiritual realm or anything. They just knew that these two men are no longer crazy, and the pigs just killed themselves.
Yep.
So they don't want any part of that because they don't understand it.
Yeah. That concludes Matthew chapter 8. So, again,
Well,
if we missed anything, leave in the comments.
And this whole chapter is just revealing who Jesus is by all these actions.
We're
But
about to see in the next couple chapters, he continues on this path. But that being said, if we missed anything, leave a comment down below.
and before we go, the reason I'm wearing this cap is because I just got off work and my hair is horrible. You might see the next episode.
Well, we're about to pray. So, anyways, would you like to say it or me?
I can. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the time that we have to spend in your word this evening, Lord. We just pray that this message would go out to someone who needs it, Lord, and that you would spread it and just do with it whatever you will, Lord. And be with us. Help us to continue to do your will for our lives, Lord. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
See you tomorrow for Matthew chapter 9.
Goodbye.